Hey, Mary Beth.
Hello, how are the two of you?
Hey,
Good.
good, good. It's nice to meet you, Mary Beth.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you too. Congratulations on Mr. Crocket. Probably one of like the most fun movies I've watched in a bit. Like really good Halloween movie. So thank you for that. Um, but Brandon, I wanted to hear more from you because you wrote Mr. Crocket as well.
Yeah, I co-wrote it
You
with
wrote it, yes.
co-writer Carl Reed. But yeah, I came up with the
So
original idea.
so what about a deranged children's host like really spoke to you for a script?
Yeah. I'd say as a father, it gravitated to me a lot because
Oh,
like
okay.
my kids are obsessed with TV whenever I let them watch it. So, and it's always a battle between me or Blippi or me or Ryan or me or whoever is the next person that they're going to listen to more. So I thought like, wow, what if that was a person who had ulterior motives and was actually in it for the wrong reasons for the kid. And in general, like they have the tools to take more of your kid's attention than you do because they give them all like the nice things, the fun
Yeah.
stuff, like the candy, the bright backgrounds, all the things that they want to listen to and watch. Like they'll if you don't turn TV off, they'll watch for days. Like they won't stop. So I think that whole part was scary and the fact that
Yeah.
lose your kid to something like that. And so what if that entity was real? I mean, they are real, but what if they could actually take your kid away from you? And so that's kind of
Yeah.
where it came from.
Okay, because that actually answers my next question, I think, because I was curious why you wanted to do it from the parent perspective versus the kid, because I feel like so often we do get the kid perspective, but it makes sense then to be the
Yeah.
parent if you're writing that way, because I like that about trying to rescue them. But okay, cool. I was curious about that. But Elvis, you are so stunning as Mr. Crocket. What was it like for you to get into this character? Because you really gave me like fucked up Mr. Rogers vibes in the best way possible. So, what was that like for you as an actor to get to embody this character?
It was great, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. Exactly what she just expressed. So, yay. Um, yeah, no, I really wanted to just have fun, but I also really wanted to bring to life what I was reading on the page. And it was very important for me to be able to show a different side of this character. I wanted to show some kind of level of vulnerability, wanted to show some kind of pain and a deep reasoning for doing the job that or the pact that the character had made. So to immerse myself fully in the character was of the utmost importance,
Yeah.
and and just to be able to have fun and set a tone. It was
Yeah.
very important for me going into this process to be able to set a tone because it's a huge shoes to fill, playing this character, Mr. Crockett. So I just felt a huge responsibility, and I wanted to make sure that everyone else understood that and came to play and came to live and believe in what we were doing in the moment. So.
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean the rest of the cast, Jerica Hinden is just such a stunning performance from her in this movie. And I wanted to hear more about casting her, Brandon, and having her join the cast because between you, Elvis, and her, it's just like such powerful emotional performances for a movie about a killer kids show, which I love. Like there's got so much more emotional depth than you expect. So I just wanted to hear more about casting her character because she's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. So throughout the process of casting, because I was familiar with her work, but
Hmm.
not as extensively until when the casting director presented her to me, and I loved her work she did on Hunters. I love her presence and her fearlessness as her character, and she had so many different colors to her, and like the risk she would took. And to me, that was she possessed the strength of this mother character that I really needed her to have. The mother who has gone through this death of her husband is now trying to deal with her kid, and then now dealing with like the loss of her kid and coming back. It was really great working with her and just meeting with her first too. She was this is like one of her first horror projects.
Yeah.
Things she may not usually do, but I'm glad that she did because, I did learn a lot from her on set and throughout the process
Mm,
and just really um, just how to work with her and the emotions that she brings to her character because
yeah.
it is a lot, and going through how are we portraying this mother and the relationship that she has with her son. And I was just thankful to her because like a lot of times like she would turn it on in a second when we call action from just chilling. And so it was really inspiring and seeing her really take this character to the level that she did in her own way too, because it was definitely a lot of collab, like how it was with Elvis, like a lot of collaboration, a lot of like, for me, I'm very open as a director, especially if you have a certain intention in mind that's going to align with what we need from the character, then I'm all for it. And so she had a specific intention that she had with this character too. And, I fully trusted her and I'm glad I did.
Brilliant. That's amazing. And so the song that you have in this friend in you, I can't get it out of my head. So
Yeah.
I wanted to hear about writing it
Yep.
because that it's like the between the animated like opening sequence and the song, like this feels like a real show I would have watched. So I wanted to hear about making that song because good God, you
Yeah.
really did create an earworm. And Elvis, was that stuck in your head for is it stuck in your head forever now?
Not, yeah, thanks to you. Now I'm singing it right.
Yeah. I say with me, I've always made up songs around the house with my kids, about like cleaning or
Okay.
doing chores. I
Yeah.
like whenever I would make songs about cleaning and them cleaning their rooms, it would almost help them encourage them to do it more because it's like, oh, it's like fun and games.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the songs I wrote, I would test on them first. And if it didn't stick into their head
Oh,
in the first hour, then I would change up how I would sing it or like the lyrics and everything. Because I went through like five renditions and like it wasn't sticking. And then one
oh,
stuck after an hour and then they sang it all night. And even the next morning, I'm like, okay, that's the one. And I did that with each of the songs to where we found out like, okay, this works. This is gonna stick with kids. Yeah.
that's so cool. That's awesome. And also, oh God, you really took the work home with you. They're singing
Yeah.
it
I had my own
now.
built-in focus group in my house. So yeah.
Are those Mr. Crockett's teeth? Elvis, those are not your real teeth, are they? Right?
Nope.
Because I
No.
can tell when you're talking, I was like, wait, his teeth were so like so why that choice too? Because I love that. But then I'm talking to you, I'm like, wait, those are not his real teeth. So like why that choice in particular with the teeth?
That's a good question. Again, everything happens in the pages, and immediately when I
Yeah.
first read the script, his smile just constantly was in my head.
Yeah.
Every time I read the script over and over again, the smile, the smile, the smile. So I thought that it would be interesting if, Mr. Crockett is very clean. His hair is perfect, his mustache is right, so he does have this side of good intention. So his thing is like, come on, kids, you gotta floss, you gotta brush your teeth, you gotta keep your hair tight. And if you see that all the boys in the show, they all have like nice. So I thought that it would be interesting to be able to create this smile with these teeth, but also that could be easily changed and could be creepy. So when I thought about this, I immediately reached out to the production, and the production put me in touch with this amazing team of dentists and prosthetic folks. And I was able to tell them specifically, can we do them like this? And they were looking at me like, what are you trying to create here? But it was just so clear to me that this will be something welcoming, but at the same time be creepy, depending on when I needed to switch that.
Wow, wait, that's so cool that that was your idea. I was again, the teeth really were like creepily teeth creep me out, I think. So I think like I was drawn to that and that choice because it
Want to
really
see
does
them? I can
like
go put them on right now if you want.
you have them. Do you really have just a set of Mr. Crockett's teeth? Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But my last question, Brandon, I why the 90s? Because I do really love that you really nail. I think we say that we do, especially now, a lot of 90s stuff. It doesn't always feel like it's from the 90s, but I think with this especially, you nail that aesthetic of the kids show, especially in the world. So why did you want to do a period piece here instead of modern or contemporary?
I think because of the lack of, modern technology and kind of
Okay.
helps with the obstacles, but also I
Yeah.
think it's one of the best periods in music between R&B and hip hop. And
Okay. Yeah.
I
No.
and,
Yes.
and I'm a huge fan of a lot of 90s films between like Set It Off, Above the Rim, Poetic Justice, Men's Society, and like a lot of the styling, especially for like Jerica's character, was inspired by like, yeah, like Janet Jackson from Poetic Justice.
Okay. I was wondering. Okay.
Great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then
Cool.
just like the type of just like style, the house and music. So like the Sounds of Blackness track, and then that little track by Big Daddy Kane as well. Um, I think in general, like I really always wanted to see like a Black '90s horror film told in that way.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I have the opportunity to create it, so let's get after it.
That's so awesome. That's so cool. And especially because you can get access to the music. So I feel like that's such a pain in the ass, especially like music
Yeah.
licensing. So that's cool that you could do that with this. That's so
Yeah,
awesome.
I was thankful. Justin, who was our music supervisor, he was on it, so
Hell
it's
yeah.
good.
Well, thank you both so much chatting about Mr. Crockett. It's also Elvis, congratulations on two Hulu horror. I saw Carved, and you're also awesome in Carved, so congrats on that too. But yeah, this was awesome. So thank you both so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much.